Hey, Zach, this past week there was a huge case on expungement decided by the Indiana Supreme Court. As you and I both know, um, expungement law is still kind of new, and to see opinion by the Indiana Supreme Court is huge. To my knowledge, there's only two or three cases total decided by the Indiana Supreme Court. So this definitely got our attention. Zach, walk us through the case.
Okay, so what the Supreme Court was trying to figure out is whether or not certain cases for expungement are not eligible. More serious cases that involve sex or violent offenses, or cases like the one that the Supreme Court dealt with that had to do with serious bodily injury, you may not be eligible for expungement. So the person in this case, he was charged with a series of crimes, and some of them involved serious bodily injury. But the charge that he was ultimately convicted of was burglary, which had no charge of serious bodily injury in there at all. It wasn't an element. But what the lower court held, and the reason they denied the expungement, is because serious bodily injury was involved. It was in the facts of the case. And so the question that the Supreme Court had to decide then was whether or not a case that involved serious bodily injury could be expunged, even if the person wasn't convicted of a crime involving serious bodily injury. Does that make sense?
It does. And so, Zach, you and I have both been prosecutors. We've seen cases where the there's 10 charges, 20 charges. Boone County, we love them up there, but even the DUI, they charge 10 things. And so just because someone's charged with something at the beginning, that does not mean at the end that's what they have. So if you go to trial and you win everything, you walk away. But if you do a plea agreement, you can agree, hey, these 10 charges, we'll plead guilty to one. And just like you said, even though the underlying case had serious bodily injury, what he pled guilty to did not. And so when I read the case, I kind of got the idea the trial judge and the prosecutor both are kind of like, he's a good guy, he deserves it, but we think that because it involves serious bodily injury, we can't do it. I mean, it's the reason why you and I are confused is, well, because the Supreme Court was confused. Am I right? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so they were confused, and they went into a whole, they read the statute, they went word by word to try to figure out how restrictive the law was. But what they decided eventually is the person wasn't convicted of a felony that resulted in serious bodily injury to another person. They really hung on the word that. And use that to show that even though this person was convicted of a major felony, in this case, a very serious crime, the crime that he was actually convicted of did not include serious bodily injury. And so for that reason, he wasn't automatically disqualified from getting an expungement. Now, it's still what they call a permissive expungement. The court doesn't have to grant it, but he's not automatically disqualified just because of some of the other charges that were ultimately dismissed.
So, Zach, anybody watching this, I don't want everybody thinking that every expungement is this complicated, because they're not. A lot of expungements for misdemeanors, lower level felonies that did not involve violence, those are going to get expunged. And so what we're talking about now is permissive expungements. Give us an idea of what a permissive expungement was.
So permissive expungement is for some more higher level felonies that don't follow under the automatic expungements that you were discussing. Permissive expungements are higher level crimes, such as the burglary here. It's a higher level crime. So the court has the opportunity to give you an expungement on it, but they don't have to. So it kind of, the burden falls on us and on the petitioner to show that they're deserving of the expungement, that they're turning their life around, that they've stayed out of trouble. And it's tough to get to that point. You have to go a long time without getting in any trouble before you're eligible to expunge one of these higher level crimes.
And Zach, one of the cool things that I liked about this opinion is the Supreme Court kind of gave us an idea of the things that they want to see when someone's filing for these permissive expungements. So what are the things that we want to include as a law firm for our clients when filing permissive expungements?
So we want to show, and the Supreme Court even touched on it here, we want to show that, you're involved with your family. If you're a parent, what you're doing with your kids, that kind of stuff. It shows sort of responsibility. We want to show, that you're working hard. basically, we want to show that you're a productive member of society, and that getting this expunged off your record is only going to help you, be more of a contributor to society.
In this case, the guy had letters from friends, employers. I think the victim at one point even suggested the guy should be getting a second chance. And expungement's amazing because once it's expunged, it's as if you've never been convicted. And it opens up a lot of opportunities. And you can say you've never been convicted on job applications, licensing applications. It truly opens up a lot of opportunities for anybody. And so I applaud this guy for keep pushing for this. And that's awesome. And this was a giant ray of sunshine for anybody who's been convicted of a crime that wants to move to the next part of their life. Zach, any final words on this amazing case from the Indiana Supreme Court?
I would just say, we appreciate the Supreme Court for coming out the way they did. They went into a lot of detail about how expungements are created for people to help get their lives together, and help create a second chance. And for that reason, the law should be interpreted in a way that gives them more opportunities. So they came down in a way that I think supports that idea. And so I think it's pretty cool.
If you guys have any questions about expungements, give us a call, 317-632-3642. We love helping people put the past behind them. You have a great day.